a brace. Van Egmond! Emily Van Egmond! But that might just top the lot.
Cup of Nations match day 2. We're back in Sydney and in the western suburbs of Sydney, Parramatta today, home to a rich history and vibrant multicultural food and arts scene, and also boasting plenty of natural beauty thanks to its riverside location. And of course, Sydney, what a city. Parramatta, what a great part of that city. CommBank Stadium is right in the heart of Parramatta, and it is the location for Jamaica against Czechia. Two teams that didn't win and didn't score on match day 1 of the Cup of Nations. They will be determined to bounce back here and make a statement. Crowd building up because, of course, it is part of a doubleheader with the Matildas taking on Spain later. But plenty of fans of both teams getting in early, and plenty of Matildas fans also coming in too. So let's take a look at how the Cup of Nations has shaken up so far. Spain 3-0 against Jamaica, Australia 4-0 against Czechia, and the two teams face off now today. Former Matilda Sarah Walsh joins me for this one. And Walshy, we're excited to see these two teams in a more evenly matched contest to really show us what they can do.
Yeah, both the teams have put out a really strong starting 11 for today, and which makes it, I guess, the clash all the more exciting. Both teams need to definitely be a lot better than they were in that first match.
Well, let's take a look at that first match for Jamaica. Spain, they didn't have to be brilliant to win 3-0, and Jamaica, it leaves them with plenty of questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, well, plenty of opportunities here for Spain, and Orof finishes is here first. They moved the ball around really, really well. Esther here gets a chance in front of goal and doesn't miss. But for me, Jamaica are really disappointing without the ball. They lost their defensive shape way too many times. They didn't create too many chances. They put out a stronger squad today, so hopefully they can clean up in that area. But Spain, it should have really been more than 3-0. And some beautiful, beautiful play on display from Spain as well.
So that was that in Gosford for Jamaica, 3-0 to Spain. And then in the evening, Czechia, they were organised in the first half, but a real gulf in fitness and endurance shone through in the second half as Australia powered to a 4-0 win.
Yeah, well, this game really played out as predicted. It was going to be always difficult for Australia to break down Czechia, as is the case for most European nations, but they were solid in defence. Australia really had to show their patience and real discipline with the ball. Chidiac made an absolutely outstanding difference when she come on, and the chances came and they were clinical in front of goal, ending the game in 4-0. So I think Tony Gustafsson would be happy with the way in which they showed that patience and resolve to get ahead in the second half.
So there are the two teams in the tunnel. Czechia in their white kits, Jamaica in the yellow. So much interest in both teams in their respective countries as well. Jamaica heading to the FIFA Women's World Cup back here in Australia. Czechia missed out in qualifying, but they are one of those emerging nations that we'll be hoping to be on this stage, especially with the tournament being 32 teams going into the future. It is the first time these two teams have met head-to-head, so there'll be plenty unknowns on both sides, but that's what tournaments like this are about, Sarah. It's so exciting to pit teams from different corners of the globe that otherwise never would have played against each other unless they made it to a World Cup.
Yeah, so very true, and both teams, although Czechia are not in the Women's World Cup, there's a lot to play for. They're in one of the most difficult qualifying confederations there is in UEFA. If they were in any other confederation, this team would be playing on home soil in July this year at the Women's World Cup, but Jamaica have got a lot of improvement to make today. They've got some big stars back. Keep your eyes out on number 6, Savannah Salon. She's one of their best players playing in the NWSL. She will definitely lift their game in the midfield.
Both teams out on the pitch, and it means that we are ready to stand by for the acknowledgement of country and then the national anthems for both teams.
If you are able, would you please be upstanding for today's Welcome to Country and remain standing for the national anthems. To begin today's match, Football Australia would like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land that we are gathered on today, the Darug people. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend a warm welcome to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people with us today. We now invite everyone who is able to remain standing for the national anthem of Jamaica.
ask those who are able to remain standing for the national anthem of Czechia.
So with both national anthems observed, formalities about to be completed, handshakes with the refereeing crew, and great to see all the mascots out there as well walking out onto the pitch. They won't forget moments like this. So let's take a look at the Jamaica team. 7 changes from the one that lost 4-0 to Spain. The remaining players, the Swaby sisters, Spence and Wiltshire. Otherwise, it is changes en masse for Lorne Donaldson. No one has dropped out of the matchday squad that was available on day one, though. So a full bench of substitutes to choose from. Swaby taking the armband, the number 17. Plenty of new faces to watch for in that Jamaica lineup. Jamaican team posing for the photo there. That's their record in 2022. More wins than losses. That would stand to reason, having qualified for the World Cup. Will they have their attacking edge today, though? That's the question. After looking not quite totally toothless, but very much struggling to create against Spain on match day 1. And to the Czechs, 7 changes as well. The remaining players that played Australia, Batoldova, Shlashova, Kirova and Sinova, they are the 4 that remain in the squad. Change of goalkeeper with Ruzicova coming in between the sticks and hoping again for a combination that can last the 90. They did make 5 substitutions against Australia, but were thoroughly overrun. So let's see what a new combination looks like. 7 changes for both teams. Very much thinking about how they will approach 3 matches in the space of a week. There is the Czech record in 2022. A bit of a mixed bag, but as we know, they were competitive in a World Cup qualifying group with the Netherlands and Iceland, who went right down to the very last minute of stoppage time to determine the Netherlands qualifying and Iceland missing out through the playoffs. There's Karol Rada shaking hands with his opposite number, Lorne Donaldson. It is Saturday night in Jamaica at the moment, so let's see what Lorne has in store for us with this one. Rada, his team was organised in the first half against Australia. Certainly the gaps were exposed in the second. And Donaldson, who's taken over the team after a bit of upheaval due to what could be politely described as a bit of player dissent. And they wanted a change at the top, so he is now the man in charge, at least for now, taking them to the Women's World Cup. Today's officiating crew will be led by an Australian. Rebecca Durkow has the whistle. Sarah Ho and Lauren Hargrave are the 2 assistants, and Asaka Koizumi will be the 4th official. There's no VAR in the Cup of Nations. So one last team huddle for the Jamaicans. Czechia are already out in their positions on the pitch. Sarah Walsh, who is going to set the tone. I mean, 2 totally different looking teams from game 1, so throw out the form line. What are you expecting to see from kickoff here?
Well, something we do know about Czechia from all of their previous matches is that they're resolute in defence. But this player on screen here, this is your Emily Gilnick type player, but she plays in the middle, so she's very dangerous in front of goal. Uses her height quite well. Her name's Stashkova. She's Atletico Madrid, former Juventus. She's going to bring something different that wasn't there the last game. And Jamaica, Well, they've brought in a lot of the changes. They needed a lot of life. Havana Salon, we've talked about, is going to be that for them in the midfield. They need to get more from Spence, number 9 in the midfield. She was non-existent last match.
So on Combank Stadium, it is quite a wide pitch. Will the space favour some of the pacier players in both teams? Will they have the breathing room to play passing football today? We're about to find out. Jamaica to attack the right of your screens in this first half, as match day 2 of the Cup of Nations kicks off in Parramatta. And Jamaica happy to go back to Chantel Swaby from kick-off and get a feel for the ball. Feet of Alison Swaby, the two sisters standing next to each other on the right side of that Jamaican defence. And Swaby playing it into a very open midfield at the moment, but there's plenty of space to exploit for Trudy Carter, one of the 7 inclusions to the squad today. Back to Drew Spence getting a touch. Czechs probably taking the weather into account as well. It's certainly not steaming hot today, but it's mid-20s. And how big a factor will that be as well, the adjustment to the Australian conditions? It's one of the reasons these teams are so keen to come here.
Yeah, well, that hasn't been a challenge since winning the rights to host, bringing some of the biggest names in women's football out here. But as you mentioned, I think, you know, teams have really struggled with that 22, 24-hour flight over, something that our team, the Matildas, have always been used to. But it is a challenge for each of the teams. It's a 10-day FIFA window. There's 3 matches within that. That means that the teams need to be back at their club after that 10th day. So it means that there's a real lack of time for training sessions, and we're seeing that with Jamaica. A lot of their teams also play in leagues, particularly in the US, whether it's the NCAA or it's the NWSL, that are not in season right now. So they're trying to find that form and match fitness, whereas the Czech team, they're right in the swing of things with their league at home.
Of course, many of these players at Slavia Prague, who made the group stage of the UEFA Women's Champions League. Early foul here. Trudy Carter, not too threatening territory, catching Denisa Vesela. No advantage given. Vesela straight back to the feet. Free kick will be taken just inside the attacking half. Jamaica quick to retrieve the ball. Spence plays it to Simmons, who couldn't control it. Vesela. Czechia not going at breakneck speed, but this is good play by Ruzicova to get down the right flank and win. No corner. Goal kick is the decision. Ruzicova thought she'd done enough, but central referee and assistant were both on the same page.
Yeah, they like to use the width here. And Wiltshire actually went through a significant amount of running in their last match. She started out on the left-hand side and had to move on the right, only to be up against one of Spain's biggest threats on the left. So there will be some tired legs, and I expect that there'll be a bit of rotation in the second half, but they really didn't deal with the balls in behind well, so I think that's something that Czechia are going to look to expose today.
Sydney Schneider in goal today for Jamaica. As the Czechs look to work the left side, Kirova will chase it down. Swaby comes across, Kirova's cross. Dealt with it at the edge of the 6-yard box. Not quite out of danger yet, though. And on this occasion, the judgment is lacking from Jamaica because it's out for a corner, and they were happy to usher it over the line. So a bit of a miscommunication there for Havana Salon, and it means that the first corner of the game goes Czechia's way. That voice carrying through is Sydney Schneider, the goalkeeper. So corner coming up for Czechia. Tumbling in at the near post. And not really able to make much of a play on the ball there was Aneta Dedinova. Would you say the Czechs have a slight height advantage? I'm not sure if set pieces will be a primary avenue to goal for either team today, but it might be their best option.
Yeah, it was for Jamaica against Spain, and I just don't think they really utilised that advantage that they had. But yeah, I don't think Czechia get enough credit for how tall some of their players are. I was down ground level for the match against the Matildas, and you know, the centre back and particularly Stajkova, who's playing up top, they're very tall. So something that Jamaica need to be better with is they gave a lot of cheap corners away to Spain, who didn't capitalise on those. So just got to be better in some real 101 football.
Dedinova, long ball, and bending away from the run of Šlašova. Aneta Dedinova, one of the players at Sparta Prague in the Czech League, 24th cap today. And here is Vitoldova. Back to Barbara Ružičková in goal. Jamaica not pressing with any real intent at the moment. Czechs able to enjoy some time in placid possession. Now Jamaica engage in the midfield third, but that is nicely done from Vesela, playing it through the right. And the Czechs have stolen a march. Great bit of skill cutting in. The cross was lacking though. Alison Swaby read it best in the penalty area and cleared away. Clash of bodies in midfield, but the referee holds on to the whistle. Šlašova. Indecisive about where to go. Now Kirova loses out to Chantel Swaby. It's a good touch initially from Simmons. Jamaica will retain possession through Spence, and now played out into the open field. Trudy Carter was there, but good goalkeeping from Ružičková to come out off her line.
That's really great play there from Jamaica. They usually have Khadija Shaw, who is out at the moment from Man City, on the end of those balls in behind.
Vesela, the cross from deep. Chantel Swaby got up, won the initial header. Second ball is there to be contested though. Now the chance for Ružičková. Can't control it. Šlašova. Down to the right side. They have fancied the run of Kristina Ružičková so far, but knocked off the ball this time. Dedinova stops almost to a standstill. Jamaica sitting with 10 behind the ball. Now it's 11 behind the ball as Cameron Simmons comes in and takes an interest in trying to press, and Havana Salon wins the ball back. Now here is Cameron Simmons, rides one challenge, gets tangled up in a second, and that's good bullocking work there from Klara Ružičková. Comes out to Denisa Vesela, who's been eager to make an impact on this game down that right side. Vitoldova, centre back, almost up to the halfway line. Vesela, ball over into space, not quite. Good defensive header away for Jamaica, protecting that left back corner. Get a chance to consolidate on the ball. A little bit hurried though. Satara Murray didn't appreciate the back pass, sent it back out from whence it came, and that was a 2-on-1, but it's worked out all right in the end for Tierney Wiltshire.
Well, there's a clear intent to target Wiltshire here. As I said, went through miles of running in that last match against Spain, but Ružičková and Vesela really working well together on the right.
Kirova turned away from the target though. Work by the Jamaica midfield to force Czechia backwards. Šlašova lifts it across. It's going to have to be a run from deep if the Czechs want to contest the ball. Wiltshire stood tall. Now Kirova. Ball wasn't quite glued to the feet in the end. Good defensive work from Vian Sampson, and then is able to win a free kick at the end of that run.
You see Kirova here, gets the ball from Šlašova, ball in. Really just never dealt well. They're not dealt beyond the line of midfield, but Kirova does well to keep this ball alive. Jamaica getting numbers around the ball to try and push her out, but she's great on the ball. She had a fantastic match against the Matildas. Already looking to be busy early here.
So Jamaica, having played out from that foul, have Trudy Carter in possession here against Vesela. Being well guarded, Havana Salon right into the traffic. Simmons has to come back and chase possession. The Jamaican midfielders closed ranks and been able to win back the ball. Now they're probing the right. Jodie Brown is out there. Good to see Brown too prominently, but has a great goal-scoring record. 30th cap today, 13 international goals. Still in college at Florida State, which is one of the top US colleges. Home of Dana Castellanos, the Venezuelan star that made it into the top 3 of the FIFA Best one year. Now, of course, plays at Manchester City. Havana Salon. Swaby takes the throw. Brown. You hear a groan of anguish as there's a little kick to the ankles, but nothing that's going to leave Brown on the ground. Swaby goes for distance with the throw. It breaks in the area, set up for Spence ever so briefly, and now makes a contest of it against the Ruzicova. Both teams appealing for the throw. It's going Jamaica's way.
Well, Spence, that's Spence there. Tottenham Hotspurs needs to get on the ball more if the team's going to be successful today. Hiding against Spain, and she really needs to find these pockets of spaces, demand the ball, but to get involved.
Jamaica looking to build some sustained pressure here. Keep the ball down in their attacking half. Drew Spence standing in central midfield at the moment. If anything, in a bit of a defensive position as Jamaica try to work the left flank, and Czechia have got numbers. Carter dancing on the ball, but quickly knocked away.
Yeah, something I think they could have done more against Spain is take more risks. Too many times they had a very defensive shape, and that all really starts where Spence wants to start, either as a 6 or an 8. They did rotate quite well. Sometimes they just need to hedge their bets and stay higher.
Czechia on the move here. Poltsarova. Plays it over to Kirova, and then tried for the return ball, but asking a little bit too much, and Sydney Schneider didn't want to get too clever before picking the ball up, using the hands there. But that's the first time we've really seen a bit of dare from Barbara Poltsarova through the centre of midfield, the number 11. And now she's on the scene here trying to press against Spence. As is Stashkova here against the goalkeeper, and that forces a mistake given away by Sydney Schneider. Lorne Donaldson is right up to the edge of the pitch, giving his instructions there. Carl Rada back in his technical area.
You can see how deep the mid-block here for Jamaica is. They're just happy for Czechia to bring the ball into their own half. Hit on the counter.
Salon's pass, a good one. And now Cameron Simmons. He's got Carter in the middle. Simmons plays the pass. Trudy Carter is forced all the way out of the penalty area and then tried to spin at the last, but was stood up well by the defence. And Czechia, out of a potentially nervous moment, have prevailed. It was Denisa Vesela here who was able to track Trudy Carter and force her away from goal. Brown. Now Spence. Back to Chantel Swaby. And then Alison Swaby. Satara Murray. Salon. Just roaming the midfield. Always presenting for the ball. Swaby tries to go right through the middle. Czech defence is there to close the passing channels. And now a long ball from Swaby, but I suspect that Cameron Simmons gave herself up there coming back from an offside position.
Well, that's a challenge for Jamaica, playing 90 minutes, handing the ball over, I guess you could say cheaply there. Player was offside. Ball shouldn't have been played. One of the other challenges is they play counter-attacking football, but they don't commit numbers forward. That phase of play prior had a really good attacking play where Simmons and Brown joined the attack, but they had something like 7 to 8 players stay behind the ball. No second runs into the box, and that's going to make it really difficult to score goals. Just need to take a few more risks, push forward a couple more players in those moments.
Poltsarova and Didinova. Back to the goalkeeper, Ruzicova. Now Bertoldova. Vesela called for the pass in the middle, but then tried to square it. Couldn't hit up a teammate. And it will go out for a Jamaica throw, so neither team looking particularly confident on the ball as soon as they hit the halfway line. Here's an opportunity for Spence to try and change all that. Really good run through the left side, taking on the Czech defence single-handedly. One defender too many. Bertoldova came across. Now potential for the counter-attack. And it's good strength, the run here through the right side from Kirova, but needs support. Ducking back in, Ruzicova. Now Didinova. Numbers pressing forward. Shlashkova has players to aim for in the penalty area. Shlashkova doesn't want to send in the cross though. Didinova. And now Kirova. Well, the Czechs don't see a pass that they like here into the box. Now half a chance. Sahinova. And the shot comes on target. Krvichkova able to at least fashion a chance, but only succeeded in putting it straight at Sydney Schneider.
Well, that was fantastic play there, starting off with Kirova again. They play 1-2s on the edge of the box. You've got Sarichkova who gets on the end of that, but miscommunication between Alison Swaby and Havana Salon, sorry.
As we see Jamaica trying to consolidate now after Czechia's best chance of the game. Kirova again through the left, Poltsarova. Stashkova's calling for the ball over the top, but didn't want to take on the cross. Now the ball comes in, and it's well done by Murray, winning the initial header, even though it glanced on. Trudy Carter trying to backtrack, and Ruzicova is able to come out and win possession. Vesela.
That's fantastic play from Czechia on the edge of the box. Really great combinations between Sarichkova and Kirova on the left-hand side here. Poltsarova has started on the right-hand side. She's now on the left, and I really love that rotation in the midfield. It's really creating all sorts of challenges here for Murray. So Havana Salon in the midfield, they're just really not picking up players here.
Buildup again, at the back of that shot on target. Now Kirova, always looks capable of making something happen, but that was a pass straight into the feet of Leanne Sampson. And now Spence, caught in possession. Ruzicova won it back. Vesela trying to capitalise. Poltsarova being harried by Satara Murray, has to concede ground. Sahinova. Things slow down. Allows Jamaica to really walk in defence rather than have to shuffle aggressively side to side. This pass from Bertoldova, trying to ask a more meaningful question. Kirova is there against Swaby, volleying it over the top. Just back to that last chance for Krvichkova, the shot on target. How does a player get so free in the penalty area here? Because we see her in all sorts of space.
It's one thing that she's free, and it just takes way too long for Murray to close that ball down there. And, you know, this was the challenge they had against Spain. They were too reactive in their back line. And actually, it starts with Sampson, number 3. She's playing defensive midfielder. She's meant to be screening this line of defence. She's either got to pick that player up, Sarichkova, or actually call for Alison Swaby to pick her up. But there's just no communication and no movement off the ball. And it's presenting in, I guess, shots like that.
Czechia will be encouraged as the game moves towards the 20-minute mark. They're starting to take over. Shlashkova, a deflected cross. Takes it out of danger initially. Brown, dispossessed.
And the only thing I can think of is, you know, one or two things. It's lack of minutes for a large percentage of this team. Not all players are playing in the UK. There's a handful of them, which means that they're out. They don't have match fitness. And second to that, you know, they really only arrived 2-3 days ago here, and they're struggling with that very long flight. But this is not the Jamaica. This is not their best. I guess we're not seeing their full potential at the moment. Build into this tournament as they get their sea legs.
Czechs reload in the meantime. Vezela, defended by Wiltshire. Tony Wiltshire on the books of the Houston Dash, 12 international caps, 13th today for the Jamaican national team for the 24-year-old. Lots of space starting to open up now in the attacking half for Czechia, because Jamaica is sitting so deep in numbers too. Camped at the top of their penalty area. Inviting Kvitichkova on. Can't connect to the 1-2 though. And that was Stashkova there. It's interesting that Stashkova calls for the ball in the air a lot, has the arms up, wants the cross in, wants to challenge in the air, but for whatever reason, whether it's tactical or just decision-making, Czechia aren't just bombarding her with crosses or aerial balls for now.
Yeah, the only time she's been played in today is when she's that focal point to build and you know, link her midfield into the play. But yeah, she's been alone a few times in a really great position. They just haven't played of it. One thing I'm noticing about Jamaica, they're defending in this zonal, I guess, framework, and you know, they're kind of forgetting to go to the ball as well, put pressure on that player with the ball. Sarichkova didn't get a shot off number 14 previously, but she's finding too many balls in between the line of defence and midfield. No one's picking her up. It's Sampson's player.
Betoldova. Now Dadinova. These two have exchanged more passes than anyone on the pitch, the two Czechia centre-backs, but it's come unstuck here. Great play by Cameron Simmons to win the ball away. Still got it all to do, though, against a backtracking Czechia defence. Needs support, and it arrives in the form of Brown. Brown denied. Good challenge in the end, but that was Czechia cleaning up an error of their own making there, giving possession away. Shlashova plays it back to the goalkeeper. So even in those fairly passive moments, Sarah, Czechia, they've got to be careful. They don't want to be lulled into a false sense of security, because you mentioned earlier that Jamaica do want to hit on the counter-attack. As we see Tiani Wiltshire deal with that challenge.
Yeah, well, it's predictable football, but they do it well. That time they committed a few more numbers forward. Salon was in the box, but just the execution from Brown was missing. It's a really difficult game to play, because you're expecting that you're not going to have a lot of possession. Already we're at 66% possession for Czechia. You just need to hold your nerve and find those moments. And they actually don't choose to go every moment. There's been a couple of times where I didn't play the ball forward, held on to it, and the moment changed up top for Simmons. But they're preserving energy without the ball.
Now through the right channel. Physical coming together, penalty given. Well, big decision from the referee, but it's Kristina Ružičková who's won the foul off Satara Murray, and Czechia will go to the penalty spot. Big call from Rebecca Takau, the Australian referee.
See the ball in from Vezela, but she's been busy. Ružičková. Murray coming in late. I don't think the ref had any other decision to make other than point to the penalty spot. Murray just checking, using her body late. It's all about the touch, that last touch from Ružičková. She's been lively down the right-hand side. We're going to see Stashkova stand up to take this. Atletico Madrid striker.
13 international goals so far, taking aim at number 14 against Sydney Schneider. Andrea Stashkova scores the penalty. Keeper went the right way, but Stashkova converts. Czechia get their first goal of the Cup of Nations, and they take a 1-0 lead.
Well, it was coming. They've been under pressure for the large majority of this first half. And who else but Stashkova? You see the penalty here. The keeper goes the right way, Schneider. Ružičková. Well, look, that was a beautiful last touch. As a winger or a striker, you want to make sure that you draw that player in just at the last second, and she does just that. Stashkova doesn't miss.
That behind the goal angle shows just how close Sydney Schneider got, though. It was a very savable height. It just had plenty of power behind it.
Yeah, she was a live wire when she come on in the second half against Spain. They really struggled to, against Matilda, really struggled to keep her off the ball. She always knows how to involve herself.
So a 14th international goal for Andrea Stashkova. And that means we have our opener here in this one. Czechia getting reward for their control of the game so far. So we have another look at this angle here.
Well, there's really little margin for error there, you said, and Schneider picks the right side. Hard for the keeper. You have to say that it was coming. This is one of those moments where Jamaica could actually press. We've got Czechia right in the back of the corner. There's just really no appetite to squeeze this team up and keep them in their own half. They're really just small things, but just continues to put Jamaica on the back foot. Instead of that being a throw-in up right in the corner, they're now defending one in their own half.
As Czechia pass 70% possession, the ball is theirs. Jamaica very much looking at Czechia controlling the tempo and the territory of the game. Now they have a goal to show for it too. Dedinova. As Czechia pass it around their back four, they're looking for a gap. Vesela is in space over on the right, and the pass beats a bit of momentum up, but she has to double back away from Carter. Poltsarova. Now Grichkova. Free to send it across, and the volley is on, just wide. Kirova perhaps should have made it 2-0, missed the target.
Well, Sarichkova again, at 14, she's been so busy running on the line, beyond the line of defence here to keep this alive. And Kirova, well, she'd love to have that again. Really difficult to bring that down, hooking it left. Just a combination play on that back line, creating so many issues for Murray and Swaby. Murray and Swaby just really not getting a lot of support from their midfield. You can see Stashkova, she dropped into the midfield to allow that space.
Murray's up for the header here. Solon plays it out into space, chases her own little knock out into the open and then twists it back for Drew Spence. Jamaica moving through the gears now. This is more promising. Simmons at the edge of the box. Forced wide initially, doubles back on the left and forces a save. Barbara Rožičkova then dives on the loose ball.
That's fantastic play here from Jamaica. They opened up for him in the midfield. Ivana Solon getting on the end of it, and Spence finally been unleashed in the midfield. You can see even the shot, there's no one there to follow up.
It's a shot that the keeper would expect to save as well, as we have another look from behind the goal.
Well, again, you can see how many numbers that Czechia get back. Good save there in the end from Rožičkova.
Poltsarova. Pass intercepted this time. Solon. And then knocks it out into a gap, and Simmons is able to just roam onto it. This is better from Jamaica. Drew Spence. And that's good defensive work from Sahinova to force her backwards. Turn it into a duel. And ultimately, Jamaica yield possession. The ball's going to hit the flag. It's not out. It's still alive down in the corner. Vesela gets there in time. Carter, though, wins it back for Jamaica. And then it needs preventative measures from Rožičkova to put it out.
They're getting a little bit of possession now. Hopefully that builds some confidence for them.
Murray to Alison Swaby. And Chantel Swaby. Perhaps telling that Jamaica's first thought there was to retreat the first time they'd seen their defenders that high up on the pitch passing around, and they've yielded possession now. Kirova for Czechia. Into the box goes Kirova, and it sits up for the tap-in, but it's off the crossbar. Krivichkova missed it. That looked for all money like a goal, and somehow it's caught the woodwork, and now in the pile-up of bodies, both players are down. But what a chance for Klara Krivichkova there to make it 2-0.
Well, she's still down in back play here. Wilshire has enough to get a pressure on the ball, but Kirova again, she's just been so lively here. You will not find a better ball into the box than this. Beautifully weighted, right in front of the player, in between the two centre halves. And Wilshire gets enough pressure on the ball, putting Sarichkova just enough off to hit the bar. That's a lot harder to do than miss. So Kirova, beautiful ball in here.
You've got to give credit to the defender there. That little deflection, without that, it surely just nestles in the net as opposed to lifting up into the crossbar. So last-ditch defending.
Wilshire's definitely put her body on the line again. She has been fantastic. She's without a club at the moment, and you suspect that won't be too long until she signs. We've got a drink break here, come at a timely moment here for Jamaica.
As the players are treated and a drinks break is taken, let's throw it down to ground level as the atmosphere builds towards the Matildas kicking off against Spain later tonight, and say good afternoon to Tristan McManus.
Good afternoon, team. Yes, it really is. The atmosphere is building in here. People are starting to filter in. I can see along the mezzanine, for want of a better word, it's very humid. It's very hot down here. So there's actually a lot of fans standing in where it's air conditioned. And I don't blame them, to be honest with you. We're having this drink breaks at the moment, which is very much needed. I've had about 7 bottles of water already, and I'm not even playing. But it's great. And like I said, you can see the atmosphere. The Czechia bench, they lost their mind when they got that penalty, which is great because this is an international game, so it doesn't matter who is here. You're playing for your country, and there's a lot of pride going on today. It's been a good game so far. I've been really enjoying it. Czechia getting a lot of good play down here on the left-hand side for sure. Long may it continue.
Thank you to Tristan McManus. If you are counting down to the FIFA Women's World Cup score that's come in today, Paraguay beating Chinese Taipei on penalties. 4-2 means that they go through to the playoff final against the winner of Papua New Guinea and Panama. And that is after Paraguay were 2-0 down. They scored 2 in 2 minutes late in regular time and then ended up winning on penalty kicks. So not a great weekend for the Asian Football Confederation, because both Thailand and now Chinese Taipei won't be coming to the World Cup.
That's the beauty of football. That Haiti score definitely threw me.
Haiti beating Senegal 4-0 in one of the World Cup playoffs. They'll now face Chile for a spot in the World Cup, and of course there's a huge Chilean population in Australia that will be desperately hoping that they can seal the deal. But on form, Haiti looking pretty good. We're back underway after the drinks break. Spence fouled, free kick, mid-range, a bit far for a direct shot on goal, but a chance for Jamaica to construct a set piece.
Well, that's much better from Jamaica. There's a lot more movement off the ball, a little bit more urgency with the ball. You can see Spence, her first touch is in front, so it's positive play with speed, drawing the foul. They need more of that.
Kristina Ruzicova back organising. Barbara Ruzicova, that's the voice you can hear carrying through. Pack of players at the edge of the box. They're showing plenty of respect here with 3 in the wall from this distance. Salon trying to find a teammate. Bertoldova is up for the header. Swathy was at the fall of the ball but couldn't reach a toe out and prodded goalwards. Instead, it's cleared away.
That was great work from the Czechia defence. Didinova really doing all she needs to get this out. Beautifully whipped in here. Looks like it was Spence gets the first touch.
Now Bertoldova on defensive duty again. Wheelchair. Sydney Schneider is shouting from the back, trying to find open passes for teammates, but it's come unstuck for Chantal Swathy. And then that got the bench up and motivated. Vian Samson making that sliding challenge, able to knock the ball out, but Czechia straight back on the attack. Shlashova. Potsarova. Now Sahinova. Out into space, asking a lot of Vesela here. Wiltshire has position. Vesela is going to pick her pocket and break into the box here. Bit of contact, still Vesela going, and the cutback is blocked away. Murray was the necessary defender there to stop that turning into more for Czechia.
There's a great passage of play there for Vesela, and again, equally up to the task is Wiltshire. You can see she gets beaten once and comes back. This time, stepping back to not foul inside the box. She just does enough to apply that pressure.
I thought we were heading for the second penalty of the day there, but Tierney Wiltshire bailed out just at the right time. Spence, the early ball. Carter. And that is good goalkeeping, sharp from Ruzicova up to the edge of the box.
Well, that was a fantastic play. Spence looking up once, playing that ball in, and Carter, they need more of Carter and Brown making those runs behind the line of defence. Become predictable when it's just Simmons. We've been able to split the centre halves a few times now, just a bit too much on that ball from Spence. You can see the intent.
Vitoldova. Poltsarova. Now Ruzicova. Looks up at Wiltshire. Here's the underlapping run from Poltsarova. Stashkova. Knocked away. Was trying to control it on the outside of the boot. Drag it into her path for another shot on the target. Not quite on that occasion. You called it in the opening minutes of the game, Sarah Walsh, that they were targeting the right flank. They wanted to hit it down Tierney Wiltshire's side of the pitch, and Vesela and also Ruzicova, they have combined to great effect so far in this first half. And commentators curse now they miss a pass between each other.
Well, they've got Chantel Swaby on the right-hand side, and I'm not sure if it was something that was premeditated prior to the match, but for some reason Wiltshire has just been targeted in both matches, and for me she's the best fullback that they have. And Chantel Swaby on the right's very good, but maybe it's because she was actually targeted in the first match. She's going to run out of legs at some point. Without a club at the moment, she's not playing season football, so it's going to be difficult. But even though they're sitting deep, they're still leaving way too much space in behind. Too many times Czechia are able to keep it alive.
Here's a good run from Brown, really showing the pace here in behind. It's Brown! And it was neither a cutback nor a shot in the end, because the Ruzicova made herself big and was able to swallow the ball. I'm going to play it down. Chantel Swaby is sore for Jamaica. Hurt in the build-up there. Trainers are running out immediately. But what a great chance for Jamaica and Trudy Carter there. When decision time came, there wasn't one.
Well, for me, it's this first touch in front of the defender. There's nothing the defender can do but pull out of the tackle. She needed to do something with that first touch. She cuts off the defender here. Beautiful first touch. Look at this. Stunning. But Simmons needs to hold a run. Standing behind a player, standing behind Vitoldova. She's got to stop her run and provide that option for the cutback. It's just these small 1%ers. A beautiful play here for Jamaica. They've got to be building confidence with this possession.
Was that the attempted finish through the keeper's legs there instead from Trudy Carter? You were a striker. What would you have done in that situation?
Well, I would have hoped that I had someone to cut it back to. As the keeper had the near post cut off. She'd done all the hard work with that first touch. She just needed to make sure that she cut it. But here's this knock on Chantel Swaby.
Yeah, it's indiscriminate. Could be a potential arm fracture we're looking at here. Bang. It's the hand getting trapped against the body. It looks innocuous, but it's clearly caused some damage.
This will be terrible news here. They've had such a great combination between the Swaby sisters on the right-hand side. Difficult to break down.
Looks as though tape and the magic spray is going to be used, but they're really testing to see if that's a broken wrist. Yeah. Clearly causing a lot of discomfort for Chantel Swaby.
But although you play with your feet, you hold players off with your hands and your wrists, and so that's going to be really difficult for her to defend without the full use of her wrists. So we'll see how long she stays on the pitch.
24-year-old from Fleury in the French League, 32nd cap today. Clearly no intent to sub her off. They want Chantal Swaby in this game. Perhaps with just over 5 minutes of regulation until half-time. Maybe a decision will be made then. We'll see if Swaby can continue on. Don't forget, due to the drinks break, we will have a little bit more stoppage than you might expect at the end of the first half. This is Clara Sahinova. Vesela plays the early ball, but it's not to the advantage of Potsarova. Instead, Murray is there for Jamaica, twisting around the corner. Wiltshire. Now Solon. Spence calls for the ball in midfield, but that's not where the pass is going. Well, with a deflection, it is. Luxa Fortune. Spence. Jodie Brown. A dash right into a midfield trap, but is able to win a foul. Sampson. Swaby, first touch since getting that wrist taped up. Seems all right to continue. Off the head of Vesela. Polsarova in a battle with Solon, who wins out for Jamaica. And now Spence. Carter on the spin. Here's the chance. Brown! Jamaica level! Jodie Brown's fantastic international goal-scoring record continues. 14 for Jamaica now. And vitally won today. Their first of the Cup of Nations, and they level up the game.
Well, the build-up play here was special from Jamaica. They've committed more numbers ahead of the ball. You could see when they get this shot off, there's 4 numbers in the box, but Spence holds it up enough for, I believe it's Carter, but she's got Brown running on the outside. They haven't had this support up until this point, and this was actually through structured play, not broken. They've done a really great job to play in these tight spaces around the box, and what's some finish here from Brown. That is special. She finds herself on the left-hand side. She should probably stay over there because that was special. Great finish.
So Jamaica, who have had 34% of possession and not created a great deal, find themselves level in the game thanks to Jodie Brown. And for all the praise we've sung of Denisa Vesela over on that right flank, she's the right back. It was her side of the pitch that was exposed there for Brown to finish unmarked.
Well, she's been playing a bit of risky football. She's been staying high, but she really, with all respect, in the context of this match, it hasn't been risky because Jamaica weren't pushing numbers forward. But that time, they had more of their players join the attack and the execution. They were clinical. Some of these passes around the box were beautiful, holding it up just enough. And you've got to have that support play. And you're right, Vesela's been beaten there. You can see the coach, he's not happy about it. Beaten goal side by Brown. What a beautiful finish.
Well, the burning question now is, in the second half, who's going to have the legs? Who's going to be able to show the energy and run the game out? We know that the Matildas steamrolled Czechia in the second half midweek. Jamaica at least competed for the full 90 against Spain, albeit never really looking like they were getting back into the game. They're really finishing the first half the stronger here now, though. Carter ran into a 1-on-3. Ball is knocked away. And all of a sudden, it's Czechia who have to make it to half-time with the scoreline at 1-1. Bertolova, the captain, they'll need leadership from her. Swaby, this will test the wrist. She's normally reliable for a long throw. Let's see on the run-up here how she goes. Looks all right with the throw, but there's no one there to contest the ball for Jamaica as it's knocked away. Stashkova. Krichkova. Over to Vesela. She'll be determined to make amends now. Denisa Vesela takes 40 metres and then bends across. Stashkova holding the ball up. He's got Vesela back out on that right flank again. The first touch a little bit loose, invited Wiltshire onto the, well, not on to touch the ball, but on to protect the ball and see it out for a goal kick. Denisa Vesela, one of the Slavia Prague connections in this Czechia team. 14th cap today for the 25-year-old. Clearly done a power of running in that first half, though. You can see many deep breaths. Sydney Schneider in the Jamaica goal, taking every last second before restarting play. Flying through for the header was Zahinova. You see there, Zahinova trying to keep the energy high because there's 4 additional minutes. Plenty of time for both teams to do something in what's left of the first half. Kirova. In battle against the Jamaica goal scorer Brown. Kirova prevails. Krvichkova dancing on the ball, but that's great from Solon. The little step inside to Spence, and now out into the open. It's a chance for Simmons to run. Dedinova had to be composed. Toldova, acres of space for Czechia on the right flank. Ružičková has Vesela ahead of the ball wide. Uses her now. Jamaica have managed to get their defence back in position, though. Ružičková, and that pass not quite to the advantage of a teammate, so Jamaica will happily let it roll out for a goal kick once again. Again, plenty of time being taken. Jamaica, they shouldn't be satisfied with 1-1 at half-time. They're the team with the momentum at the moment. They don't seem to be really forcing the issue here at the end of the first 45. Poltsarova. Kirova. Solon is there to take possession. Simmons. Now out to Wiltshire. And 2 of the 4 minutes of additional time. Of course, I mentioned earlier, Paraguay beating Chinese Taipei today. It's hugely relevant to Jamaica because that winner of playoff Group C will be in their group. So they've already got France and Brazil in their FIFA Women's World Cup Group F. Jamaica start with France at the Sydney Football Stadium. Then they play the winner of that playoff in Perth. And then they play Brazil in Melbourne, which will be a pretty special game as well. But as of right now, one of Paraguay, Papua New Guinea or Panama will be lining up against Jamaica in Perth in that second group game. Pure coincidence that it's alphabetically aligned like that. Into the last minute of the half. Is there a sting in the tail? Czechia will feel as though they didn't quite get full value for their control of the first 25 or so minutes, and Jamaica have very much come back into the game since, albeit only at 36% possession. Bertoldova. Now on the turn, Zahinova. Decision time for Czechia. 30 seconds, if they're good enough. Ružičková. Poltsarova, the 1-2 with Ružičková in behind. The cutback's on. It's turned behind for a corner. If they're quick enough, they'll have a late set piece here, Czechia, to try and take the lead to half-time. Here we see the run again from Ružičková, who's had some good moments on that right flank. Tierney Wiltshire has been given all the defensive work to do over on that side of the pitch, and the crowd rising here, applauding at the end of the first half. Stoppage time is up. One last hurrah for Czechia before the break. Kidova takes the corner. Driven onto the head and in! Clara Tsahirova got up and put Czechia into a 2-1 lead. And the halftime whistle sounds without the need to kick it off again. Kidova's corner, driven with power, and Tsahirova rose and met it in the air, turning it into the net. The Sevilla player's 8th international goal. Not much that Sydney Schneider could do about it. And Czechia will feel as though they have got the reward in the end for a first half where they had the better of Jamaica. All smiles then as Czechia walk into the halftime rooms. It's Jamaica 1, Czechia 2.
Well, what an end to the first half for Czechia. 2-1 is the score as they head into the sheds at halftime. We are off to a short break. This Cup of Nations match day 2. I'll be joined by Matilda Sarah Walsh on the other side to look at all the first half action. Don't go anywhere.
Cuts back. It's a wonderful cutback as well for Zach Clough, who has his third for Adelaide United.
It's Aiden Simmons. Checks back and finds Brandon Borrello. 2-1 Wanderers. A razor-sharp finish.
Welcome back. The Cup of Nations Match Day 2. As you can see, a host of football action heading your way live across Paramount Plus and Network 10. The Reds v the Western Sydney Wanderers. It is third v fourth in the A-League men's competition. But back to the action here at a balmy Combank Stadium. I am joined by former Matilda Sarah Walsh, straight from the Combox onto the panel. I've never seen you run so fast, Sarah Walsh, than the days back on the pitch. But Czechia in the lead 2-1 against the world number 44 Jamaica, and it's a deserved lead, you'd say.
Yeah, I think they've obviously had most of the possession, but this is the penalty here. Rizichkova finished here by Stashkova. They have been dominant with the ball. I think it's around 60% possession. But look, Jamaica have had their moments. This is some beautiful play in around the box here, finished off by Brown. They don't have many moments. As I said, they've only had 30% possession, but when they take them, they make them matter. They've been committing numbers forward on the odd occasion, but this time it's reaped the rewards, and Brown doesn't miss from there. So they've got a lot to do in the second half. It's going to be a tough battle without the ball. But this is the second goal here by, what do we got? Sarinova, and then Kirova. She's been fantastic on the left-hand side as well. That was a beautiful ball in from Kirova.
So what a way to end the first half of action from Czechia, the world number 28 side. As you mentioned there, Sarah Walsh, when Jodie Brown actually broke through their defence. They are so defensively strong, this Czechia side, and they were peppering, and they continually asked the questions of Jamaica in this first half, didn't they?
Yeah, well, this is one of these moments where Jamaica, you know, they're finding that outlet through Simmons, but more often than not, she's by herself. See, there's no one here to follow up this play. Simmons is one out. And it's also been end-to-end with Czechia. They've found so much love in behind the defence here from Jamaica. This is a beautiful ball in here for Sarichkova, so who really probably should have finished from there, but you can see that Wiltshire does enough to be able to put her off. Beautiful first touch here from Brown, but really no one to cut it back to. That has been the story of the game here for Jamaica, just not getting enough numbers forward.
We talk about the first half stats, and as you can see, that dominance from Czechia here, the 64% to Jamaica's 36, the shots on target as well. And you spoke about Sarichkova as well. She should have done more when she had that opportunity in front of goal. But when you talk about players that are really dominating this midfield, that is a player that well and truly comes to mind. She's causing all sorts of problems for Jamaica, especially that midfield battle.
Yeah, they're playing with one up top through Stashkova, and so that means that she's able to bring in Sarichkova. Here she is here. She's just finding way too much space in front of this defensive line. They absolutely need Sampson, who's holding mid for Jamaica, to do a better job at shielding that back line. But she's getting in such great spaces. Look, there's not much she can do there. Wilshire's got herself in between herself and the goal and done really well there, but there's been too many times where Sarichova's been able to pick up the ball.
And you can see her stats there when it comes to 100%, tick in her tackles won, her passing accuracy as well, and those shots that we saw that she's been creating and that are on target. She's such a strong player in this midfield. Unfortunately, Czechia, they haven't qualified for the World Cup this year. Jamaica, the Reggae Girls, we saw them in 2019. They played their final group match against Australia over in France, and they are through to their second World Cup. Well, let's head down to Tristan McManus, who is soaking up a bit of the atmosphere here at Combank Stadium, because we are gearing up as well to the Matildas v Spain. Tristan, where are you?
Hello, I'm at Combank and I'm having the best day of my life. The only people having a better day than me is these football fans here. How we feeling? What's your name, mate?
Fletcher.
Fletcher, what are you doing here today? You're part of the Ashfield Pirates football club.
I'm watching the soccer game.
And are you enjoying the game?
Yes.
How much?
A lot.
What's a lot? I mean, what are we talking here? You like a 4, you like a 20, you like a 90, 100?
A million out of a million.
There we go. Is anyone liking it more than he is? Yeah. What do you like so much about this? You said you weren't going to be shy. Who are you here to see today? Are you here to see Jamaica? Are you here to see Czechia? Are you here to see the Matildas?
Jamaica.
Jamaica? So what score is this game going to finish? Because they're behind at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah, they are quite behind.
They are. Now, this little girl's come from Ashfield, but someone here has actually come from Czechia. Come on over here, you two, for a second. Are you enjoying the game?
Yes, I am 100%. And Czech Republic is going to win.
It's going to win. Is this your sister?
Yep, that's my sister. And that's my brother and my sister.
And that's your brother and your sister. Right, let me hear one more time as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't get much better than that, folks.
Oh, thanks so much, Tristan. You can tell that Tristan does have kids at home. He is well and truly a pro. Great to see so many of the young girls and boys down here early at Combank Stadium cheering on both Czechia and Jamaica. We are gearing up, Walshy, of course, for the Matildas v Spain, and they've got something very special happening in conjunction with World Pride 2023.
Yeah, it's fantastic that we're integrating World Pride today with the Matildas. The Matildas are going to be wearing Progress Pride colours on their numbers. Sam Kerr, the captain, is also going to be wearing a Progress Pride armband made by Adelaide United APL through the APL, so that's exciting. It's going to be a really great day for the LGBTQIA+ community, so get down if you're not already here.
Bring it on. Come down to Combank Stadium. We are gearing up for the Matildas v Spain, but on the other side, a huge second half between Czechia and Jamaica. See you soon.
And Sam Kerr sets up Mary Fowler to give the Matildas the dream start. Gorry takes over. The effort, Gorry from distance. What a strike. And the Matildas are in front.
Katrina Gorry. Razzo, the second ball, the follow-up from Razzo! The Matildas on fire!
Kerr takes over. Van Egmond back the board. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. Gorry's ball delivers. Kerr's header. And Sam Kerr scores. Goal number 12 of the year. It's a good ball in. It's there for Kerr! And she's done it! The late show is from the Matildas. 2 goals in less than 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes of the match, and Sam Kerr with her 57th international goal.
Welcome back to live pictures from Combank Stadium, where Czechia lead Jamaica 2-1 at half-time. in this first game on match day 2 of the Cup of Nations. Scoring right at the end, last touch of the ball in the first half. And Jamaica have responded with a triple change at halftime. Let's see how that affects the flow of the game. Czechia appear to be rolling with the same 11 that started the match. And they're ready to kick off here at the start of the second half. We'll get to those 3 substitutions for Jamaica as we get back underway here at Combank Stadium. Great to see how the atmosphere was building ahead of the Matildas kickoff later this afternoon. But we've got 45 more minutes here as this one unfolds between the two sides. And Sarah Walsh, I think that goal right on the stroke of half-time sets us up for a very interesting second half.
Yeah, it really does. And I think if you're a Jamaican fan, it was a dagger to the heart. They've done a really good job to get themselves back into this match and not only score the goal, though, we're starting to swing back possession and also momentum in the match. They've made a really key change for me. Williams in the back line. She was good against Spain. She got caught out a couple of times. I believe this is her second match for Jamaica. But she adds something that they needed, just a bit more stability.
See the subs going through there. Czechs happy to hold possession of the ball.
See, they've also brought on...
Back pass here, sliced away.
So brought on Washington on the left-hand side here. You can imagine to deal with Vesela, who had a really busy time down that right-hand side in the first half. Looks like Salon's come off. She did have a knee surgery not that long ago, so she's got a first half in.
We see a body check here. Dadinova, and the goal scorer for Jamaica, Brown, pleading to the referee, but no real interest coming. Petolova. Now Poltsarova. Vichkova. We have another look at the contact here.
That's a hard ass there for Brown. He was fantastic in that first half. She really needs to pick it up where she left it off. And again, she's drawn the challenge in there. Dadinova.
Sahinova, the goal scorer that has Czechia in the lead. Pass not able to beat Chantal Swaby, who is clearly all right to continue in the game after that wrist injury in the first half. Throws her head back in frustration at overhitting that pass well beyond any potential run of Jodie Brown. Dadinova. Vesela. Vichkova spinning in midfield. Oh, is that going to be a handball? No, the foul given.
Williams a little bit overzealous there on Stashtova.
It's always taking a big risk, though, when you ref yourself and you put your hands on the ball before the whistle goes. Anyway, ended well for Czechia, at least until that pass. But now second ball is there to be won. Shlashova. Vichkova. All the way back to Dadinova, centre of defence. And now Vesela. Aneta Dadinova. Vesela asking a lot of Ruzickova on that occasion. Now Jamaica breaking with a bit of space to roam. Ball through is a good one. Flags up for offside, even though it's in the net. Frustration for Salai Washington because it won't count.
This one won't count. A very positive play here from Jamaica. Early days, this second half. You can see she just couldn't hold up a run. Maybe the ball needed to be played a little bit earlier. But again, really positive play here from Jamaica. Looking to go forward at every touch.
So disappointment for Jamaica as a potential equaliser. Was chalked off, goes astray. It's a good run from Cameron Simmons though. Just didn't quite time the pass. Now Czechia happy to own the ball around their back four and keeper. Jamaica taking a slightly higher position, slightly more interest in pressing for the ball, but Czechia are able to play through it reasonably comfortably for now. Shlajeva back to Ruzicova, and then hitting up Zahinova in central midfield, but who's presenting to her? See the body language there is, where's my pass ahead of the ball? Now Dadinova plays it down the left. Zahinova. Krivickova. Vesela jagging in from the right side. Tried to hit it underneath, and that's where Krivickova was making the run. Good physical work from Washington to protect the ball. Spence almost caught in a 1-on-2, able to squeak it away in the nick of time. Chantel Swaby was the outlet pass. Now Sampson, Jamaica, looking a bit more promising as they build. Numbers starting to commit forward, albeit everything's decelerated now. Kidova is able to win the ball away. So Victoria Williams playing the ball across. Wheelchair out to Spence. Swaby. Hopeful cross headed away by Dadinova. Poltsarova. As far as Alison Swaby, but she turned and showed the ball to Krivickova. Back pass could be dangerous here. Jodie Brown read that like a book, but wasn't able to get there in the nick of time. Now there's a 50-50. That's good commitment to the ball from Washington.
It actually looks like they've made a tactical change here, Jamaica. They're playing Jodie Brown a lot higher than they were in the first half, supporting Simmons on that back line, or in the front line, sorry.
Here is Simmons. Good touch out of the air to bring it down. Breaks through the right side of the box. Simmons, too close to the keeper.
Yeah, but Jodie Brown's got to be there. She's got to make that run in there. Simmons has done a great job to keep it alive. Not only keep it alive, put a good ball in, at least make the keeper make a save. Challenge the keeper here. Everyone watching at home, that's flat-footed in the box there. Simmons has done all that hard work.
And we are going to assess this Jamaican team through the lens of not having Kadisha Shaw available to them. They are a totally different team if she is there.
Yeah, you're asking a lot of the players that usually play around her as support players. And there, Jodie Brown, you're not the support player, you are the player in the middle of the box.
Diagonal ball, hoping for Kirova. Swaby had to be good. And got the touch right. Alison Swaby there to help out. Now the pass around the corner. Spence will play it into the left channel. Washington is going to take the game on. The sub off the bench. Salai Washington bearing down on goal. And that is a great sliding challenge coming in at the last. Aneta Dadinova, full body length, able to block it away.
Well, Washington has brought the spark this second half. Great little run in behind. You can see, great pass. She's got some speed on her. Getting past Bertoldova. You can see here, just a bit too long that last touch. But it's really good early signs here from Jamaica. Looking to push numbers forward, see if they can do something here on the corner.
Salai Washington has brought a new element to this Jamaican attack. The corner's high, Williams was up, Swaby down, can swing it back in, decides against. Washington from the edge of the box and lifted it a little too high, not threatening the target. It's Washington's international debut, the 17-year-old. And we can see why she's been called in to the Reggae Girls team. Walshy, there's plenty of energy and also a bit of game sense as this goal kick is going to be returned with interest. Spence blocked. They're still on here. Jamaica for the equalizer. Simmons makes it 2-2. And the Czechs won't believe how they cost it up. In the end, Simmons with a good finish, but Czechia, their own worst enemy.
Well. No Khadija Shaw, no worries. Simmons takes the 11 jersey. Beautiful work here from Spence to really get on the end of that. Keep it alive. Not only keep it alive, plays it on right ahead of Simmons. Beautiful finish here from the youngster. Stunning little finish at far post. She's wearing the jersey of Khadija Shaw. She has big shoes to fill today. Look how happy she is. And they are back in this, Jamaica.
Third cap, first international goal. Still in college at Tennessee. Cameron Simmons has scored for her nation for the very first time. That's a moment she'll never forget.
You never forget your early goals in your career. Jamaica up against France, Brazil, and one of the playoff winners, Group C in Auckland. And I think these matches really are positive for them to start to think about a life beyond Khadija Shaw, but also how the players that step up in this tournament are much better when they're on the park. They probably don't get many opportunities on the ball because they always play through Khadija Shaw, but now Brown's getting a foot on the ball. Simmons is scoring goals. This is really good signs for Jamaica.
And now Czechia, who have been able to take the lead twice from 2 set pieces in this game, a penalty and a corner. They now have the obligation back on them to make the running. Poltsarova. Into the box and dealt with initially by Samson. Poltsarova again. Krvichkova. Now Poltsarova. Krvichkova able to turn and face. And the volley's there! That would have been spectacular. Kirova just wide of the target. Oh, we nearly had goal of the tournament sorted if that had hit the back of the net.
This is a cute little dink in here from Sarichkova. She's been fantastic today, number 14. Look at that, on a dime. And you just think Chantal Swaby probably should have connected with that before. But Kirova, off target there, but always dangerous in front of goal.
Oh, Czechia have really switched back on after the equaliser here. They want to go and retake the lead for a third time. Ruzicova to Vesela in a battle against Washington, who holds her ground. Washington for Brown. The 2 Jamaica goal scorers linking up. Brown plays it central. Spence steps inside, legged. And the referee doesn't give the advantage. It's going to be a free kick right at the edge of the penalty area.
Well, the Czech defence, they're in all sorts of trouble at the moment. Running back to goal. Their back four looking really shaky at the moment. But maybe it's got something to do with Jamaica playing with 2 up top now, but Spence gets a beautiful, much-needed first touch to draw that foul in. She is a crafty player on the ball. They've needed her on the ball today. And they're just committing more numbers forward, Jamaica. These are the risks, and maybe that's the way that they wanted to play it, a bit more safe in the first half. But Czechia really struggling to pick up players.
So Spence is standing solo over this free kick. There doesn't appear to be a debate. The wall has been set. Referee spray paint out of the pocket in order to line up the Czechia defenders. Barbara Ruzicova still trying to set that wall. And Jamaica trying to turn this game around, having trailed twice. Can they now take the lead early in the second half? 5 in the wall. Drew Spence has scored once for Jamaica. Can she double up here? Spence deflected, still alive. Williams didn't go goal bound. There's an injured defender down and the referee whistles play dead. Bit of carnage inside the box. I think it was keeper crashing into defender there. And so the trainers are sprinting out off the bench.
Didinova.
Out to Aneta Didinova.
It wasn't a bad ball in from Spence. Doesn't clear the wall, but you can see Williams is there with a height to keep that alive there. They are asking real questions of this Czech defence. They're just a little bit rattled at the moment. She's hit the post.
So this might prompt a sub for Czechia. They've got 2 players waiting down near the 4th official. Jamaica are going to make a double sub in the meantime too. 4th official is just policing who's walking where, making sure they don't come onto the pitch before acceptances. There's one of the changes. It's going to be the goal scorer, Cameron Simmons. They're bringing off the hot boot. I'm not sure why. Rachel Jones is going to be coming on, and Kayla Van Zanten will be, Calissa Van Zanten will be entering the game as well. Didinova is up and walking, which is a good sign. And Spence is coming off as well. I know it's a real sprint of 3 games in quick succession, but the 2 players that have got Jamaica back to level and were looking the most likely to put them in front have been subbed out.
Yeah, well, you can imagine the coach is looking a little bit more long-term. There's a match to come, 3rd match. Also, this might be the only opportunity where he can get a really good look at players. Got to see Jones. She injected herself into the second half against Spain. She was lively. Quality on her final distribution wasn't great, but she will create a threat, particularly for Scheisslova on the left-hand side.
And Calissa Van Zanten, the number 21 years old, her 7th cap. She's still in college as well at Notre Dame. Didinova is ready to come back on. Czechia have still got the 2 subs. Antonia Starova and also Miroslava Mrazova ready to come on, but clearly they don't want to action those 2 subs just yet. They're standing without their bibs on down next to the 4th official as we watch a free kick here. Batoldova. Krvichkova from the right, swinging it in, needed a touch. Kirova not able to turn it in, very close though. Stashkova, and it's cleared away.
Well, looks like with those changes, they've gone back to 5 in the midfield with Brown up top. To how they started this match in the first half.
Vesela. Sahinova. Good defending by Swaby. Ball back for Jamaica. They've got new faces now. Van Zanten, one of them, runs straight into a challenge. Didinova back, looking all right at the centre of defence. All that momentum Jamaica had leading up to that free kick, where they very nearly took a 3-2 lead. It just seems to have dissipated because Czechia are now owning the ball, starving them of the chance to attack them. Scooped up by Batoldova. Well controlled. Stashkova. Swaby. So it's a real challenge for her teammate there in McNamara, who was immediately dispossessed.
Well, Jamaica just make it a little bit more difficult for Czechia. Applying pressure to the ball. A lot earlier, there's a lot more urgency in their defence, and Czechia are not dealing with that. You can see Stashkova struggling without the ball. Starved her of it for a long time now.
Sahinova plays it to Krvichkova. Half-hearted shouts for handball. Assistant referee Sarah Ho is over on the near side, so would have had a perfect view. Jamaica break away. Counter-attack could be on here if Brown can play Jones into space, but It was a slow-moving pass and late contact. Brown stays down and Jamaica aren't interested in attacking with one of their own fallen.
It looks like a calf cramp, and that's good for Jamaica. She's been outstanding for them, Brown. She's had a lot to do, particularly this second half. She's now playing isolated up top by herself.
So changes for Czechia, their first of the game. Barbara Polcárova coming off for Antonia Starova. Polcárova's shown us plenty. A midfielder from Slavia Prague, but her afternoon is over. And the second change will be Klara Krvičková, who has really impressed in both matches so far in this Cup of Nations. She's coming off for Miroslava Mrazova, who did start and actually played 86 minutes against the Matildas midweek, so perhaps explaining why she started on the bench today. But a couple of the top Czech performers, while she making way.
Yeah, Mrazova was really good against the Matildas. She didn't get a huge amount of ball. We'll see what she can do today. But they've taken off Sarichkova. She's been fantastic. She's been their best player today. She's been involved in everything, absolutely everything. There's that moment where Brown, there's not much happening there, but you suspect it's calf cramps. College football is not being played right now. She wouldn't have the match minutes under her belt. You hope that's what it is anyway, for Jamaica's sake.
So the trainers walking Brown over to the sideline. So they're happy to roll with 10 players for now. And decision yet to be made. Lorne Donaldson's right up the edge of his technical area, trying to get the hand signals going to work out if he needs to make a sub or not. Looks as though the magic spray and a bit of a rub down from the physio might do the trick here. As the running repairs being done as we speak. So far, 2/3 of the way through the game, it's what we were hoping for. Goals, ebb and flow, real swings in momentum. Both teams showing us what they're capable of. And real intrigue as to where the game is going to go from here.
Well, I think if you're a Czechia fan, you'd be really disappointed that they didn't capitalise on all of that possession they had in that first half. And not just possession, real quality possession around the final third for them. And they weren't clinical. Could have really put Jamaica away early in this match. Jamaica have done a really great job to stay with Czechia. And not only stay with them now, they're a threat to take this away on the counter.
Looks as though Jodie Brown's day is over. Jamaica's still down to 10 players. Next break in play, we're going to see Shayna Matthews subbed on for Jodie Brown. That break in play, Jamaica don't want it to be conceding a goal. Going to be keeping their heads here. Sydney Schneider in trouble, almost caught in possession. And with the aid of a deflection, it's a Jamaica throw. And so that substitution will go through. On comes Shayna Matthews, 29-year-old, for her 11th cap. Played just over an hour against Spain too, so second appearance at the Cup of Nations.
Yeah, she had some really quality chances against Spain, but again, the story of Jamaica is she didn't have a lot of support around her. She's coming back from having a baby as well, so you know, getting some good match minutes under her belt before July.
Czechia are going to make a double sub soon as well. Elena Pečková and Frani Černá. There they are. So the benches are being emptied here. We mentioned it's a warm, not oppressive, but definitely a warm day. Of course, these teams are going to be backing up midweek as well. Kirova with the cross in. Swaby. Ball sits up and it needs Chantel Swaby to come across and clear away. Vezela decides to spin central. Clever. Starova blocked, but still finds a teammate. Batoldova to Vezela. Ruzicova. Momentum stopped as Czechia go back in the other direction. Mrazova Didn't want to keep advancing the ball. Buildup does, though. Sahinova. Mrazova trying to thread it through the right, and that's going to run out for a goal kick and prompt the double substitution here for Czechia. And so Kristina Ruzicova, who has had such a good game down this right flank, she'll be making way here for Elena Pechkova. Slovacko in the Czechia League. So Kristina Ruzicova, just her second cap, the 20-year-old, but it's been a pretty good outing. And her partner down that right side, right back and right midfield, Denisa Vesela coming off as well. And it's Franny Cherna from Slavia coming on for her 19th cap. So they've totally refreshed that right side of the pitch, which really was one of the stories of the first half.
They've brought back Shaislava on the right-hand side here. So she started the last match. Able to play on the left too.
And the new faces immediately getting involved in midfield. Don't forget, we've talked about how the teams are going to be managed because the Cup of Nations match day 3 continues with the Matildas taking on Jamaica at McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle on Tuesday. Search Matildas for tickets. Don't miss out up in Newcastle. And of course, the first of the double bill in that game will be Czechia versus Spain. So make a day of it up in Newcastle. Wiltshire's pass, a little bit dangerous back to Williams, but Jamaica trying to think it through here. Look at the Czechia players, they're hunting the ball, they're getting in each other's way here, tumbling over one another. Such as their eagerness to try to win the ball back. Fresh legs off the bench making a difference here. Jamaica are able to keep their heads and keep possession. Swaby. Pass the ball in to Matthews. Wanted Jones out on the left flank, but the pass was underhit. And now Cherna. Linking up with Stashkova. Cherna again. Mrazova making a run. Oh, and knocked off the ball. It'll still be a Czechia throw. Shlashova. Sarah Walsh mentioning that the number 5 is now playing over on the right flank after playing on the left side in the first half. Kirova still trying to make something happen. Fancy still the most creative outlet for the Czechia team on the pitch at the moment, the number 6. Shlashova underneath, great pass. Starova in behind, the cut across, and the little back heel would have been so clever from Mrazova. It wasn't the fastest moving shot, but it still needed Sydney Schneider to jump on the ball.
That's better play there from Czechia, getting these runs in behind. You can see great ball in, but Stashkova just a little bit flat-footed there. Been able to connect with that early. It's better movement off the ball for Czechia.
Oh, real energy there from Shayna Matthews, but the foul is given. Matthews certainly doesn't agree. Little wag of the finger. Jamaica, their substitutions have robbed them of the momentum they were building, whereas the Czechia substitutions seem to have brought a new lease of life to their attacking play. They're right back on top again, just when we thought the game had swung in Jamaica's favour.
Yeah, and I really like Marova, 21 in the midfield. She's really looking to get on the ball. She's looking to really dominate play here for Czechia. They just lost their way a little bit. Jamaica getting on top, getting a bit more possession. But you're right, Jamaica with only one player up top, it's going to be difficult.
Matthews dispossessed immediately here. Jamaica have made 6 changes in this second half. Czechia have made 4. I wonder if they have any other planned substitutions that they'll be looking to action before they become time wasters right at the end of the game. Seems as though there's definitely plenty of intent for them to go and try and win this game. A match which they have led twice. weaving through the left side. Kirova uncorks a long diagonal ball, a little bit skinny, too close to the goalkeeper.
Well, they're probably thinking about, particularly they've got their group matches with France. This is the way that they might set up against them, the European nation. I think the challenging thing watching them just simply as a fan is how they can switch it on and switch it off, and I'd love to be able to see them switch it on for 90 minutes because they have real threats.
Mrazova. He's got a pick of a few options. Goes for the open Shlasheva over on the right. A bending cross, a great header, and it crashes into the woodwork. Cherna was up. And the width of the crossbar denies Franny Cherna what would have been her first international goal.
But again, beautiful ball in him from Shaisova. And as you said, Cherna getting a really great connection on that. Would have been held out by the woodwork here, attacks the ball. There's really nothing that Chantal Swaby could do other than try put the player off. They're building something here, Czechia.
So we have another look at this great cross in as well from Gabriela Shlasheva. Thundering off the crossbar. And Franny Cherna, the 24-year-old, can't believe her misfortune. It's prompted us to go into the second drinks break of the game, the allocated one for the second half. And again, I'm not sure Czechia want this break. I think they were really enjoying building a bit of momentum and a bit of pressure.
Yeah, you're right. Jamaica, on the other hand, really need it just to compose themselves. They've made a lot of substitutions already, and Czechia, as you said, they've got some fresh legs on now. Getting a little bit more possession back their way. And some great distribution in the final third. Shaislava, you kind of feel like she was wasted on the left-hand side. She couldn't get into the match. Now she's on the right-hand side. Her starting position is a lot higher, and you can see Cherna is almost playing up top with Stashkova.
Of course, the reason we're level at 2-2 and Czechia are going so hard to try and win this game is it was Cameron Simmons there, who's since been subbed off, that brought this game level, and Sarah Walsh. It was Czechia, their own worst enemy, Drew Spence winning the ball back, and a very well executed finish.
Yeah, you can see she's on her own in the box there, but that is some finish. Really great finish from the youngster. It's just what they need, Jamaica. It's not all about results, it's about getting players in form. The youngster just saw herself up on the big screen. Love it.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be smiling as well? Don't be embarrassed, be ecstatic. The 19-year-old first international goal on the occasion of her third cap, and lots of photographers here. I reckon the Gleaner has got its front page photo there, Walshy, if not the back page, mate.
Yeah, it's a really great story. I mean, Khadija Shaw being one of the biggest names in football at Man City, and you know, Simmons doesn't get her chance if she's injured.
Here goes Matthews now, but showed too much of the ball to Bertoldova. And so a match where we did flag in the first half that maybe Jamaica would have the legs to overrun Czechia on the evidence of match day one. It's very much going the other way here. Czechia appear to be turning the screws with 12 minutes of regulation to go here, trying to chase a third goal.
Well, Jamaica really playing Czechia at their own game. Whenever you up against Czechia, I know the Matildas knew that they were going to be a difficult defensive opponent. Jamaica doing that now.
Ball out to the left, very well measured, but that's good defending from Washington getting back. And that's one of the reasons that they have gone into their shell. Salai Washington is playing far deeper in the pitch now. It's looking like a potential goal threat. Now appears to be standing as a right back in a back five. Shlasheva. Chadana is there, but unable to get the better of Wiltshire. Just has a little nibble as the ball was going out of play. And one more double sub is in the offing for Czechia. Anna Glashkova and Lucia Martinkova are going to be the next two players into the action. So it will have been 3 hits of a double change for Czechia as they refresh their team. And let's see who's coming off now. It's going to be Michaela Kirova, who has been outstanding as a goal threat and a creator in this one. So they lose quite a bit there with Kirova coming off. And And the other player making way is the opening goal scorer of the game, Andrea Stashkova. Found the back of the net for her 14th international goal today from the penalty spot in the first half, but that is two of the bigger names and prime movers of Czechia coming off, and a couple of players in Dlashkova and Martinkova come on and get an opportunity, but again, perhaps making those changes with game 3 in mind.
Well, I think they want to win this one. And Martinkova, she was okay in the first match against the Matildas. She's busy. I think something she does really well is holds the ball up quite well, brings the midfield into the match. It's a very different match today. Tight lines of defence half for Jamaica. There's really no space here.
A little bit too energetic, foul given. As we tick into the final 10 minutes of regulation in this one, the crowd is still swelling ahead of 6 p.m. kickoff for the Matildas. Local time, it's just under 90 minutes away. It's going to be a good feeling inside Combank Stadium tonight. The Matildas trying to win for the 6th game in a row now. And up against Spain, this certainly very different looking Spain team to the one that they played in the middle of last year. Van Zanten, little sidestep, playing it out. Not quite to the advantage of Jones, who will go and chase, but Czechia have got numbers. Dedinova, moving freely, lifting a long ball. Martinkova off the head, but not to a teammate. Van Zanten touching it on, not to the advantage of Matthews. Bertoldova. Gaps are starting to open up now for both teams. Sahinova picks out a pass right through the middle of the pitch. And the long shot is just over the bar from Mrazova. It kept rising. Not the worst idea, and it was very well struck.
Well, why not? They haven't been able to break down this defence this second half. It's not far off in the end. Really, no pressure on the ball. She probably should have at least made the keeper contest that one.
Well, it still feels as though Czechia are making all the running, but that might suit Jamaica if they want to hit on the counter for one more chance of grabbing a goal. The game has consistently been 66 possession plus for Czechia. Shlashova, Chedina, rides one challenge. Sahinova. Bertoldova tried to slide the through ball. Starova was making the run, but a good interception. Now Jamaica trying to repel through McNamara, but given away again. Shlashova still full of running. And then the pass, not quite able to match. Chedina has to go and chase it down into the corner. Gets the better of Wiltshire. The edge of the box. Mrazova. Back to Chedina. Things cool down once again. Czechia getting closer. And then Sydney Schneider comes out and is safe.
Well, Jamaica are just doing a better job at picking up players and simply contesting each ball. I mean, they are sitting very, very deep. Make it difficult for Czechia to get in behind, but I just think there's so much more urgency in defence without the ball. Their shape's better. So much better than what they were in the first half, and it's good signs for them. You can see Czechia getting frustrated.
Great play by Van Zanten, playing it through the right. Matthews is there, the cutback is on, and it's cleared away by Bertoldova. And we see a pile of bodies. Van Zanten crashing in on Pechkova. Sawai Washington was there in the middle, but Matthews not able to find her, and now it turns end to end. Chedina. Czechia have got players running. Mrazova doesn't have anything left in the tank to keep sprinting, and Williams gets across. Plays the pass back to Schneider. Diagonal ball. Chantel Swaby to Washington. blocked, given away. Zahinova. Down the left, Czechia go. Well played by Washington coming across. The ball back. Williams tries to take the game on, maybe a little overzealous, but went through one block tackle and kept moving. Ultimately run out of teammates to even look at and pass to, and foul given away here by Matthews, legging Clara Zahinova.
Well, Zahinova's been through miles of running today. Strong challenge here from Matthews. We're starting to see a little bit more expansive football from Jamaica, switching the play. Williams has been really good for them in the back line. You can see it's just frustrating Czechia at the moment. We need to show patience.
Lots of shouting going on in the Jamaica defence, but no great threat posed by that cross. So we take into the final 5 minutes of regulation now. Don't forget, with a couple of injury delays and also a drinks break, we could be looking at 4, maybe 5 minutes or more of additional time. So plenty of time for both these teams to go on and try and win it. Cherna got crunched late, and it's a yellow card out of the pocket as well for Tierney Wiltshire.
Very late. See Cherna, sorry, for the card.
Hasn't been too many major decisions for Rebecca Durkow to make. We had the penalty call in the first half. Both teams have been very well behaved, made the ball their objective. There hasn't been anything by way of byplay or gamesmanship. Wiltshire turns away from a couple of Czech players, and they're setting traps here. Able to block Jamaica in. Williams is frustrated.
So she's been collected late from Martinkova.
Sideways pass is a dangerous one. It's been intercepted. Pechkova playing it through the left channel. And the ball was twisted back in, but Dlashkova just couldn't get enough bend on the cross.
That's better. Dlashkova starting higher. Well, it's dangerous play for them. They've got Washington on the right-hand side. This game has really, really opened up in this second half.
Passes one that Matthews would love to have back. 2 minutes to go in the 90. Czechia still rolling downhill. Still looking the more dangerous of the two teams, but the Jamaica defence continues to stand tall. And now little windows of opportunity like this are where they can spring and attack, but Jones just doesn't have it in the legs to go and chase it down. Just see there's an ever-present threat, though, whenever they do break into open space, Jamaica. Now Matthews is chasing and pressing from the front here.
They're a lot higher now at the moment, Jamaica. They've pushed the defensive line up.
That means there's lots of space to work with in midfield for Martinkova. Can turn and make a decision. Deflected pass, though. Fall to the advantage of Williams instead. Both teams willing themselves to the finish line here. Jamaica play the Matildas in game 3. Czechia play Spain. If either were to win, it would be considered a monumental upset. So the best chance for these two teams to win a game in this tournament was this one, right here where they face each other. Sydney Schneider hits the ball under the shoulder of Wiltshire, and Czechia have possession back. Starova into space. Mrazova, the cross, and the tap in sets up, and it's in. Czechia with a last last-minute goal. Elena Pechkova makes it 3-2. It's her first international goal in just her second cap, and it might prove to be a match winner.
This is quality on the end of this. You can see the run's been made by Slasheva. So it's not Slasheva, it's Madrova, and look at that finish there. Beautiful finish. Numbers in the box here for Czechia. They haven't been able to get the numbers high. And again, the ball's got to be good. You can see Jamaica at a rare moment this second half, facing back to goal. It's always hard to defend like that. And the finish there from Pechkova. Heartbreak for Jamaica. You kind of felt it was coming.
Well, the two goal scorers in this half have both scored their first international goal. Elena Pechkova, 21 years old, plays for Slovačko in the Czech League. And in just her second cap, it's a first international goal. And as we tick into additional time, could it prove to be the winner as well? And unlike Cameron Simmons earlier in the half, which was unbridled joy, I think there was an element of shock and surprise there on the face of Elena Pechkova that, yes, it's me. I might just have won the game for my country. Let's not speak too soon. Jamaica pressing. They don't want to leave empty-handed. And this is going to open up even more gaps potentially on the counter-attack. 1 of 5 additional minutes has ticked by.
I think really the difference for that waiver attack was the distribution from Marova on the right-hand side here. Just having to be able to get that quality on their crosses and getting in really good spaces. And I think that's something they're going to be frustrated about.
Well, again, the big stage like this will do none of the Czech players any harm. So many of them play in the Czech League, but as we know, women's club football is developing rapidly. Giving it away here. Matthews, the shot. Didinova gets the block in. Fearsome challenge coming in, but it was outside the area regardless. And again, arms by the side, not taking any risks there. Didinova, as she clears it away. Isn't it funny that Jamaica had everything going for them earlier in the half, and now that they're a goal down, they find one last burst. Czechia, they were rolling downhill. Now they go into their shell, protecting a 3-2 lead, and that might just invite Jamaica on. Chenina, dispossessed by Swaby.
Well, I'd probably call it frustrating to watch because they've actually got a lot of quality. When Washington plays high, they're a dangerous team. But when they change their formation to one up top, it's just so difficult. Difficult to get numbers forward when you've been defending for so long. But now Washington's a lot higher, supporting Matthews. They've also got Chantel Swaby playing high. Like, where is this football before? They seem to bring it on when they're down. We've just got to play like this when scores are level.
Now the second ball is on, but the pass is lacking from McNamara. Czechia, 3 of 5 minutes now ticked away. Do they go to the corner? That's the question. Razova breaks wide. Got the assist on what is for now the match winner. Slasheva. And the ball down at this end of the pitch is not being accompanied by enough energy for Jamaica to go and win it back. First ever international meeting in women's football between the two teams. And it's been worth every second of it, really. 3-2, seesawing game. Czechia's taken the lead 3 times.
They've shown really great resolve here, Czechia, this match. It's been very difficult for them to really break down this Jamaican defence. It was off the back of a quality cross in from Marova. Just what they needed. Great finish from Pechkova. And all of their subs have really brought something different.
And now Pechkova with the little back heel trying to open up the game. Martinkova, we're in the last minute. Czechia have got the ball where they want it, at their feet. Jamaica sitting really deep in defence. Not enough players chasing to win it back, quite simply. A pass like that out into open space. Matthews just a lone figure. Now Didinova down into space. Martinkova can take it down to the corner. And that is exactly where it's going. So the last 15 seconds of this one, Czechia have got it down at their attacking end, trying to close out a win here. Both teams would have earmarked this game. Both made 7 changes to their starting 11s before the match. They put a real premium on trying to win this game today. And they've played it in a great spirit as well. The stoppage time expires. It's Czechia who prevail. Elena Pečková is the hero. A last-minute goal, the difference. And it's Czechia with the odd goal in 5 that come out on top. What was a thoroughly entertaining Cup of Nations clash. A day filled with firsts, international debuts, a couple of first international goals. And ultimately, it is one of those first-time scorers that has proven the match winner. Handshakes at full time. And it's Czechia who prevail. Jamaica with plenty to think about before they take on the Matildas. Jodie Brown was one of the Jamaica goal scorers. Ultimately leaves on the defeated team. All over at Combank Stadium. It ends Jamaica 2, Czechia 3. And Sarah Walsh, this game gave us everything we hoped for and more.
Yeah, well, it was an exciting match, actually. Some really fantastic goals and good patches of play from Jamaica. A lot to like about their talent off the bench, but also, you know, Simmons, who stepped up in the absence of Khadija Shaw. And Czechia, it's just so disappointing we're not going to see him at the Women's World Cup, qualifying through one of the hardest confederations at UEFA. But they were fantastic today.
And one of the goal scorers is down with Tristan McManus. He's got Klara Tsahinova.
Thank you, guys. Hey, Klara, very, very hot day out here today. How do you think your team coped?
Well, I think we tried our best. The weather wasn't easy, but it was the same for both teams, and we just had to fight, and at the end we were the lucky ones, and I'm super happy we got the 3 points.
What are you learning about your team between today's game and the game in Gosford?
Well, we tried to keep the ball more because we didn't really have the position in the last game. We're also getting used to each other because we have so many new players, and I think we're gaining experiences. We're becoming more dangerous, and we just have to keep on going and prove ourselves on Wednesday again.
Thank you so much. It was a great game today. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm also here with Drew Spence. Drew, heartbreaking to lose the game right at the death there.
Yeah, definitely. I think in certain situations we need to be smarter, and I think in some periods of the game we was better today, and it's mistakes that cost us. But this is what this tournament's all about. It's all about us learning and playing in these games. And I'm so proud of the youngsters today that one got a first debut goal today. So that's really what we can take from it.
It was a beautiful goal as well, assisted by yourself, and the elation on her face was unbelievable. That's what you want. That's the pride you want in your country when you're playing, right?
Yeah, of course. And, you know, for youngsters, they go out there with no fear, and that's what we want. And she was there demanding the ball. Obviously, it was not a great shot for me, but luckily it came straight back to me, and then I played her in, and it's an amazing finish. So I think we can take the positives from that and then take it into the next game against Australia.
Not a great shot from you, but a great assist. Let's leave it alone. Thank you very much. And back to you, Dale. Thanks for a great game today.